This AFC North Division preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by SGPN Fantasy. Dominate your draft with the SGPN Draft Kit. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/draft kit. And the free roll football contest is back and better than ever. $5,000 up for grabs in our NFL contest and $1,500 in our brand new college football contest. Sign up exclusively in our Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord.
Hey, this is Eric Metcalf. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Just more football. I guess people are into football now. Looks like based on the downloads, looks like I'm gonna guess that some of the DGen, some of the newspaper crowd, some of the long podcast listeners of the past are waking up from their slumber.
Their hibernation.
Like, oh shit, my fantasy draft is coming up this weekend.
Like hungry bears looking to forage.
Oh shit, we have NFL football less than 8 days away.
No, Jesus, it's actually
9. I lied. As you're listening to this, probably 9. But we're close enough to where I think
single digits.
I think folks are coming back.
College football week 1, we're going to be doing 2.
No,
college football week 1 podcast to make up that there's no NFL picks podcast this week. And hey, get in. We're running 2 separate free roll football contests. One with $5,000 up for grabs in the NFL contest, $1,500 up for grabs in the college contest. That's exclusively for our Discord listeners. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord. Get in, sign up, get in, and let's go, baby.
What?
Oh, you're looking at me crazy, right?
I was gonna make a joke about the Discord, but I didn't. No dick pics. Just winning.
We have not had that yet.
Lots of picks, but no dick pics.
Hey, you know our pick when it comes to the best online sportsbook and casino? Of course, it's WynnBET, baby. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBET. WynnBET Casino open 24 hours a day. You can get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Bet $100, get a free $100 bet. I mean, the 5 touchdown player props, that alone is worth signing up. And sign up over at WynnBET to show the love for the Sports Gambling Podcast, Sports Gambling Podcast Network. All the great shows, the website, the app, it's all fueled by the good folks over at our presenting sponsorship with WynnBET. All you got to do is go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET to get started today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. Offer subject to change, terms and conditions at WynnBET.com. Must be 21 or older and present. The same replay through WynnBET is available. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. We're also brought to you by Odds Trader. Odds Trader, great place to compare odds from all the major books. Shop the different sign-up codes, the promos. You got it all. Player stats, game stats, injury reports, all in one convenient place. Live scores and bet tracking, projected game day weather, all over at oddstrader.com/bluewire. That's oddstrader.com/bluewire, the #1 site for all your game day bets. And we're here previewing the AFC North. If you missed it, we already knocked out the AFC South and NFC South. We're kind of re-highlighting our win total picks, then giving out a player prop future bet that we like, and then a team future bet. Although I'll say this, in one particular team that I'm not high on in this division, I could not find a player prop I liked, so I had to go multiple team future bets. Right? Hopefully, we'll allow this.
I think we can figure it out. I think the point is to give out more bets, and I think the most important thing to reiterate, because I think a lot of folks are showing up ready for football. they might not know we previewed all 32 teams.
Yes.
So most likely, if you have a favorite team, we talked about it. Honestly, the team
statistically 100% chance if you have a favorite NFL team.
In the range of outcomes. Honestly, I think if you're a Cowboys fan, I encourage you to listen to the Cowboys episode. Might have been the most fun preview that we did.
That is a disgusting act.
Yeah, and I just think like lots of fucking nuggets, lots of nuggets,
lots of good nuggets.
Listen, you got a weekend of family shit.
Yeah,
download the episodes before your flight so you can listen all the way through.
Yeah, don't rely on the airplane Wi-Fi. That stuff always craps out. Download your podcast before takeoff. It's a little inside traveler tip. If we have time, Ryan, we should walk through the first time in Vegas checklist because I know some of our guys are going to be out meeting in.
That feels
NFL.
like an episode we can figure out a way to fit in the schedule.
We can get one.
How
of those.
to Las Vegas.
How to Las Vegas. The DGen guide.
A DGen's guide to Las Vegas. Okay, so.
And anything? No, let's get to it.
No,
so
just lots of previews, lots of college
sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NFL previews. That's a link to the entire page with all 32 episodes on one convenient page.
Yeah, and actually, now that I think about it, we should totally. I think you can make a Spotify playlist. I'll do that today. That'd be fun. All right, more picks, more teams. NFL shit is the only stuff that matters right now. Sean, I'm neck deep in fantasy drafts. All my managed drafts are happening, hot and heavy. Ooh, this is a good division. This was a division, even though I was team under this offseason. Definitely on some overs here. Shout out to the chat. Justin Wood is letting me know that his watchful eye will be on me for this episode.
Bengals super fan.
So hopefully I do not misstep and say I would draft Saquon Barkley ahead of Joe Mixon and twice on set. All right, let's start from the top and go to the bottom because that's what we've been doing here. The Ravens, win 9.5 on the win total seems silly still to be sitting here saying that you can bet on them to be a double-digit win team and that's all they got to do. We were both very high on them. 13-4 for me, 12-5 for you. I assume we're not straying from our initial over prediction. Lamar looks every bit as beefy as we were told in the offseason with the muscles. I just, we've seen although the preseason streak did come to an end.
Well, covering, but still there are 23 winning. Straight wins for Baltimore in the preseason. So the money line's been great, and the ATS has been really good as well.
So while I will sit on the over, 13-4 makes them the kind of team I absolutely am going to bet most wins at 16-1. I couldn't find the 1 seed in the AFC props right now, but I would look to make that kind of regular season bet before I make a postseason bet. I love them to win the division. I think we gave it out at +180. It's down to +150, +140 even in some places. And I still like them at make the playoffs at -165 because it just feels like such a lock. And perhaps I'm just blinded to just the extra muscles on Lamar and the fact that this is a a well-coached team that is primed for a bounce back season after the massive kind of extreme injury laden kind of regression season they had last year. So I'm just leaning into the Ravens as the team that I think could be the cream of the crop in the conference. And yeah, obviously smashing that over. I think we grabbed a max bet on this in our futures draft, Sean. Ravens over 9.5. It's one of the, if you want to talk about a overall win total lock for me, all 32 teams, this one sits pretty. I mean, my projection has us 3.5 games north of where we need to be. So let's. What do you? I mean, I'm sure you're just going to agree with me because we were pretty lockstep with the Ravens.
Slightly less high. I'm not playing
less
them.
high than me, huh? That's a hot take. What is this, Vegas?
I'm going make playoffs at -165. I had them going 12-5. That sounds about right. I like what I've seen out of this team. Obviously, you can only make so much out of the preseason, but again, like what I've seen, Isaiah Likely has been a fun story.
Great.
I wouldn't be surprised. There's a real world where he's the third receiving option in Baltimore.
Like he is the third option right now.
Yeah, and them running 2 tight end stuff, I think is going to be great. make playoffs at -165. I really like for this team over. What is it? 9.5? You said, yeah, over 9.5. That 100% on that.
You got to pay for the juice a little bit, but
it's at -140. I think right now over on WinBet. And this is a player prop I like because we are high on Lamar Jackson. What would you guess his over under for rushing touchdowns is, Ryan?
I mean, he's a threat to go 10. So he's probably in this. And there's a couple guys that they put at like in between 7 and 8.5.
He's at 6.5. Over 6.5 is +100. I found
really
8 touchdowns or more, basically at +200. So I'm going. I'm taking that instead of just the over 6.5 at 100. He's
what's 10? Were you able to find one?
No, I couldn't find that. But I mean, I would. Yeah. So like last year, only 2 rushing touchdowns, but 2020, 2019, he had 7 each. He's never had more than 7. So this would be a career high for him. Again, I think the weight gain, not getting COVID 9 times. I'm projecting he's going to be out on the field a lot. He's going to be rushing the ball.
Starting quarterback. Hopefully he's out on the field a lot.
No, well, I mean, he missed 5 games last year, so I don't think that's.
He didn't like that, and I have a feeling his contract situation is not going to be resolved. So he's playing for that contract too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. You're right. He could be really looking to
MVP is still
put up some numbers, and there's still a bunch of questions at the running back position. I don't think it's obvious who would be their goal line back, so I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar. I think
it is Lamar. Unless Dobbins is healthy.
We've seen Josh Allen. We've seen Jalen Hurts. Dobbins, it seems like he'll play at some point this season, but when?
I still think it's gonna be week 1.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're getting scared off by non-stories.
Playing week 1, and you think he'll be 100%?
I think he's going to be out there.
Okay. Either way, I like Lamar near the goal line. I like him.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
8
not
rushing touchdowns +200.
I think they're going to be in the red zone a lot, and Lamar is obviously option 1. Again, MVP is 20-1. That's the play. He's an absolute MVP candidate. This has been 20-1 for much of the off season. So it's not catching as much steam as I thought it would. And he, again, if he rolls out with 10 rushing touchdowns and he just meets in the middle between his 16 and 36 passing touchdown seasons, it's going to be hard for anyone to turn him down, especially if this is a team that's grabbing the 1 seed. So if you look at all the different ways you can bet, I mean, look, most wins is only 16-1. If this team has the most wins and Lamar is healthy, he's winning the MVP. So 20-1, there's some good quarterbacks up there, but getting 20-1 and then sitting and looking at it at like 7-1 in 5-6 weeks when he's started red fucking hot. Love that position. All right. Should we move to the Bengals?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Anything else you want to call out on the Ravens' behalf?
I mean, Bateman, I like fantasy wise for sure. And again, those like best ball stacks that we're putting together with Lamar, Andrews, Bateman. Really
I'm not betting any overs on him though. I don't think I'm going hard on Bateman's receptions or yardage props.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I was going to take an over on anyone, it would be, I think there is a strong case just to take Lamar rushing yards, Lamar passing yards, passing touchdowns. I just think he's going to have a good year. That would be the angle. But again, MVP seems the best way to play it. All right. Second best team in the division by win total, not by my opinion, by win total. And maybe also my opinion is the Bengals, also 9.5. We both picked them to go over. This was an over party because we had Justin on and I couldn't bear talk shit to his face. Although I was very pessimistic, if you remember, Sean, and I still got them to 10-7.
Well, the more I think about it, the more just the way they've upgraded that offensive line for the Bengals. And and this is actually an update, when we were talking with Justin and had him on for the Bengals preview, he had kind of already assumed, all right, Jesse Bates, he's going to be gone. Jesse Bates caved and he's back. So that's another nice element to that defense that I think really helps them. I'm high on the Bengals. I don't like playing either one of these teams to win the division because for me, at +150 for Baltimore, or what is their +160 or no, sorry, what are they to win the 175 to win the division? To me, it's like neck and neck for them. I'd rather just take Bengals to make playoffs. I love that at -130. I think they're going to be back. I wouldn't be surprised if that first game, maybe they start a little slow, a couple hiccups early. But they just have so much talent on this team.
You can take Ravens Bengals 1-2.
Yeah. What's that at?
+115.
Well, see, I also like to me, this is like, these two are the studs, Bengals and Ravens, obviously super out on the Browns. We'll get to that later. And then I think Steelers could be frisky in there. I wouldn't be surprised if this division had 3 playoff teams. So I'm going to just stick with make playoffs for the Bengals as well. What's your
I'm giving
player
out
prop,
another.
Brian?
I'm giving out a second place prop. Because again, I think it. Many of my simulations end with the Bengals being in second place. I think the Bengals can end up in first place. I think there's a tiny bit where the Steelers maybe somehow pop up, but I think for the most part, the bulk of that curve, they're the second place team. And to see the second place team at +200,
yeah,
I'm not sure that's priced correctly. So I'm going to throw out Bengals to finish in second place +200. I like your make playoffs because I do think that's a strong play. Sean, I believe when we previewed it, it was even closer to even money. So hopefully folks listened to the team preview. For my player prop, I'm going to do a little fade magic here. I think Ja'Marr Chase to go under 86.5 receptions is a very, very nice play. You look at last year, he had 81. I think we kind of have discussed a bit how the part of the reason we like T Higgins over Ja'Marr Chase from a fantasy value standpoint this year is because they had very similar profiles, and Ja'Marr Chase just produced huge plays and big touchdowns. And so, from the perspective of T Higgins could see more of the target share, even just seeing I think T Higgins is at 75.5, so 11 reception spread there. I probably would take both under, honestly. I just think Ja'Marr Chase is a big play guy. He's going to have some big plays. He might be a big yardage guy, maybe a big touchdowns guy, but I don't think he's going to be a guy to come in and demand. I mean, that's a big number. You look at obviously he's an elite guy, but I don't think of him as an elite catches guy. And so I think of him as an elite like playmaker guy. So when you look at the number of receptions, he's going to have to average north of 5 per game, which that's a lot. That's a lot for a guy like Ja'Marr Chase. So I'm going to fade that. I'm going to take the under, and then of course, obviously, any sort of injury type deal.
Well, and he had 81 in a 17 game season
as a rookie.
Everything went right. Getting up to 87. To your point, and even Justin's kind of agreeing here in the YouTube chat, because I think T Higgins could go neck and neck with him, maybe even out catch him, out yardage him. I'm going T Higgins over 975.5 receiving yards. He went well over that last year in only 14 games. He had 1,091 in 14 games. I think he gets to this easily. And again, you have to decide who to cover. I think defenses would be inclined to cover Chase a little bit more. So I think it's going to continue to create opportunities for T Higgins, and his targets were crazy.
T Higgins does more
110 targets.
T Higgins does more dirty work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great point, because I don't think the average person would think, oh wow, T Higgins had only
Higgins also in a contract year too.
Only 10 fewer targets than Chase last year. That's not where people view the breakdown, and really it's like 1A, 1B. So to see Chase all the way up at like I said, 86.5 receptions too. I like the T Higgins over. I certainly like being bullish on Higgins versus Chase this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to decide between two of these, between two, and even fantasy wise, Chase is great and he's going to have some massive games DFS wise, but I think T Higgins, especially in a managed league, one, you're going to be able to get him later. Two, I think consistency wise, he's going to be more reliable as far as getting you a good stat line every game. Chase will have some really fun, days for DFS, and maybe you look to play him in those spots, but I don't know if
the reason Chase sifts down a little further than some of the top elite wide receivers like Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp for me is that I think he's going to have dud games.
Yeah.
I think he's not going to have that consistency because he's going to have massive games. He's going to have huge, week winning 3 touchdown games. But I think T Higgins week to week with the case you're making, He's going to be doing the dirty work. He's going to be the one with the more consistent output, although the ceiling is probably a tad bit lower, although it's not that much lower. I mean, like you highlighted, he had a massive season with only 14 games.
Crazy.
All right. Any other Bengals Nuggets?
No,
I still have Joe Mixon ranked below Saquon Barkley. Sorry, not sorry. I still like kind of the only other thing I would note, is I do think that T Higgins is going much higher in these sharper like underdog FFPC rooms than he is in your home draft. You might still be able to get T Higgins in like the fourth round.
And what do you think?
What rankings
We should hit on a little bit more on Joe Mixon fantasy wise. Really had a super high year, rushing touchdowns, 13, 1205 rushing yards, receiving. Not a ton, 42 catches, although almost career high there. What do you think having the improved offensive line is going to do for Zach Taylor? Like, I can't tell if
he wants to run the ball.
Yeah. Like I think they're going to run the ball, and I think you could make a case. They're going to be more efficient even
in 16. The only people that had more carries than Joe Mixon last year carries here.
Yeah.
Najee Harris in an extra game had 15 more carries. So, basically the same.
And neck.
And Jonathan Taylor in 17 games, an extra game, had 50 more carries. 40 more carries. So there was only one guy that was coming close to the pace needed. Surprisingly, the other guys that were kind of on a similar pace were Antonio Gibson and Dalvin Cook. And so to see a coach that clearly, like, that was the big secret with this team, right? They started making all these explosive plays, but for most of the year they were trying to be a running team. Yeah. They understood that they had some weaknesses on defense, et cetera, et cetera. Now with all the pieces in place, I certainly think I probably don't own enough Joe Mixon.
I know that's
fantasy,
what I'm coming to this conclusion that I need more Joe Mixon.
It seems like his floor is
going to run
high.
him to set up play action. And that was one of my nuggets when we did the Bengals preview, was that they were like worst in the league in play action because they didn't trust the offensive line to block. But now that they trust the offensive line, they still need to set up play action by running Mixon. So I think we could see another close to 300 carries.
But I also think the coach is smart, and the coach will understand, like, hey, we have Chris Evans. Let's work him in the passing stuff. I think Mixon's ceiling is what is scaring me off, because, and to the chat's point, Research Flat Earth pointing out that there was a ton of carries when Burrow was still recovering from the injury. I do think that this team, I wouldn't be surprised if this team runs like bottom half of the league number of plays this year. And maybe we're wrong about all of the Bengals guys, because they're not trying to be as fast as they were last year, because they have a stud defense and they have a good offensive line. Yeah. And maybe they're just able to control
and maybe
games
the Mixon touchdowns, he doesn't quite get 13, but I still think, I know me personally, I need more Joe Mixon in some best ball. I don't think I have him enough. Like, fantasy blind spot there, Ryan.
Well, and if you look at things like most rushing yards,
okay,
to see, like, again, only a couple guys had more carries than him last year, so he's 14-1. Probably not something I'm going to get involved in.
Yeah.
But if you were high on him, that's how you do it. Or you would just straight up, to me, the one, I didn't want to give out another over, but if I was going to give out one, rushing and receiving yards for Mixon is only 1350. For the volume he saw, he had 1,200 rushing yards. So is he going to have 150 receiving yards? So again, like, if you believe he's going to do it again, that maybe that over is a nice way to kind of pad yourself between the rushing and the receiving. But
yeah, I think it evens out to a somewhat similar year, because again, I think they'll mix in maybe a little bit more efficient, but they did
actually, here it is.
They were running him a little bit, and Research Flat Earth points this out. Guys, a lot of great points. He mentioned that, Burrow was still recovering from that ACL.
You're not listening to me at all. I just mentioned this awesome comment. I just mentioned Research.
No, sorry. I was reading the
Mixon over 1,050, and maybe that's the better play if you just want to play a rushing yards. Like, don't get fucked over by the Chris Evans situation, which I like Chris Evans late if you're doing zero RB for the nerds out there.
All right, Ryan, got two more teams in the division before we do get to those. How about Sleeper? That's right, the fastest growing fantasy platform out there. We already got our league on Sleeper for Dynasty. It's great. You already know Sleeper for fantasy, but now their new over under game. They got lines out now for MLB. And it's going to be awesome for NFL because they're going to have over unders integrated into fantasy. That's right. 2x all the way to 20x. So you can, not only you're going to be competing for fantasy, but then you can also be competing on these player props, combining them together, going 2x all the way up to 20x your money. They also have college football. I saw the college football tab. We'll be giving out some sleeper college football picks later on in the week. Stay tuned for that. And you're going to want to hop in on those. So head over to sleeper.com/SGP on your mobile phone. That's sleeper.com/SGP. Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. If you already have Sleeper, just click the over under tab, use the promo code SGP, get that 100% deposit bonus up to $100. And when you use that link, you get entered into our group chat there. Me and Terrell have been going back and forth with some baseball picks there. A lot of fun. Sleeper.com/SGP. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. And also, hey, have you entered our free NFL Survivor contest yet? Oh man, highly recommend doing it. We're partnering up with Run Your Pool. Not only should you join our pool, but then you can use Run Your Pool to run your own pools, whether it's Pick'em, Survivor, Fantasy. I'm pretty sure they even have Super Bowl squares down the line there. So there is a great deal of customization you can do with Run Your Pool. All you got to do to get started is go to play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. That's play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. The winner will be getting $500 cash and a $250 gift certificate to the SGPN store. Again, we all know how to play Survivor. And you know, you guys know Survivor, right? You pick one team each week just to win outright. You can't use the same team twice. We actually did a whole episode mapping out our path for the Circus Survivor. So highly recommend checking out Run Your Pool. Sign up for our free pool. You got nothing to lose. Play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. Kramer, let's do it. Two more teams.
Yes. Let's start, I guess, because when we were doing the previews, the Browns, for a brief minute, the Browns win total was 9.5.
And that was,
remember that?
That was when Deshaun Watson was only suspended for 6 games. We implored people to take the under 9.5 because that wasn't going to be the final punishment.
All right, well, we're doing.
How
this.
are we the only ones on this?
I remember that day we're watching NFL Network. These major media companies that I used to look to for facts, for actual, and now being a part of it, pulling back the fucking curtain. All these people are idiots.
Yeah,
they all said the same legal bullshit about how this wasn't going to be resolved. Now this was going to drag out to the season.
Injunction.
They could have just paved the way for Deshaun Watson to play this entire season. Wrong. We told you this was not going to happen. No. This was not going to drag out. This was going to be bigger.
They knew they
suspension.
Had no. Yeah,
and the fact that these books, I mean, normally I would want to call them cowards, but I guess they were brave to do this, or maybe even stupid. Why would you open this up? Why would you give away 9.5? This is insane. We both, at that moment, Sean, in time, we knew this was going to happen. We told you to get down if you can. Hopefully you listen, because I was 7-10 trying to be optimistic. You were 8-9.
Yeah,
trying to be optimistic. And do we make an adjustment now, knowing the amount of games that Watson will be out? I thought of all the teams, if we were going to go back through a schedule, this would be the one schedule it would make sense. Now I don't know if I'm definitely not going to get more wins out of there.
No,
but it does seem like I would probably find myself coming to fewer wins.
All right, you want to walk through the Browns schedule?
I kind of think we have to quickly do it. Yeah. I mean, I think we'd be doing the listeners a disservice. And I have the old, I have exactly what we picked quadrant by quadrant last time. So I can't wait to carry this schedule grid around with me. It has our Survivor logic baked into it. All right. Cleveland Browns. Now we know no Deshaun Watson at Carolina, Jets at home, Steelers at home on Thursday Night Football at Falcons. Do they win any of those games? They beat the Jets at home.
Yeah,
I had them going 2-2. Do they beat the Steelers at home on Thursday night?
no.
It's 1-3 now, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I'm down on the Falcons, but now that I'm thinking it's a non-conference road spot for Jacoby Brissett, although I guess it still would have been at the previous time, but I don't know. The more I watched of the Browns team itself, the reports I got from my sources inside the Eagles organization about joint practices,
Not good.
not good.
All right, 1-3.
I'm going 1-3. Yep.
All right, we're already losing. We're already shedding wins. All right, then we have Chargers at home, Patriots at home, at Ravens, Bengals at home. Jesus Christ, that's 0-4.
Yeah, I'll go 1-3.
Really? Where's the one?
Yeah, they figure out one game.
The Chargers can't stop the run still. After the bye week, we have at Dolphins, at Bills, Bucks at home, and then the return of Deshaun Watson at Houston. That's
my god.
That's 0-4.
0-4.
I almost.
This Browns team is going to be bad.
Oh my goodness, what has happened?
And now you have like Deshaun Watson returning to a bad team. They
and
could
then we
be
have at Bengals, Ravens at home, Saints at home, at the football or at the Commanders. Does he get a win or two there to get people excited?
Yeah.
2?
I'll go 2.
2-2. And then they close out the season against the
Steelers.
At the Steelers. That's a loss.
It's a loss.
All right. So I originally had 7-10. I now have 3 wins. I'm all right. Let me bump that one. We'll make it 4. We'll make it 4.
Okay. What am I at? 6-11 now?
What? No, you're at 4 also.
I'm at 4?
Yeah. You had 4 wins.
I'll make it 6-11. I was being too aggressive there somewhere. 6-11.
All right. I'm going to update mine to 4-13.
Because I had them 8-9, dropping to 2 games because of this. You know what? No, 5-12. Well, I'm trying to factor in what this 6 games of Deshaun Watson.
I was already
11.
30 games under 500 for the entire league. I'm
And
just
you just shaved a couple
shedding
wins.
some more. We probably need to bump
Research Flat Earth saying, what if Cleveland gets Jimmy G? I don't think they're going to, because this 11 game suspension is this weird middle ground.
They fucked themselves hard.
Yeah. 11 games actually, I think is the kind of the worst punishment in a way, because if they did get suspended for the whole year, then I do think they go Jimmy G. My sources still tell me Jimmy G is going to sign with Seattle. Yeah. And that should be coming.
We've been calling that for a while. Right?
Yeah, we're taping this on a Monday. Expect Jimmy G to be cut tomorrow and end up on the Seahawks shortly after, once they figure out the contract. So we're obviously down on the Browns, and I think not only it's like now you come in after sitting 11 games and an entire season. It's one thing if you sit 6 games, you come in, but he can't even practice with the team for those 11 games. So I think sitting 6 games. Besides just the 5 game difference, I think there also is just like you've missed so much of the team, you've missed so much of the time. Like 6 games hopping in, maybe you could talk me into it, but I mean, I'm all over any sort of negative Cleveland Browns future. There are the Browns too. At the end of the day, like they don't have this noted franchise of keeping things together like the Steelers do.
Yeah, that's true.
I like them to have the fewest wins at 30-1.
Well, and did you hear the inside Iggy that they're settled on 12 games, but Goodell said, fuck it, make them play the Texans.
Really?
Chop it to 11 and have them come back in Houston, make them feel the burn. I mean, God, that would be genius. If he really was the tyrant we think he is, that's a diabolical move. Yeah. I mean, you can't really play this too many other ways, right?
Well, one, no Jacoby Brissett or Deshaun Watson. Although Deshaun Watson comeback player of the year and MVP
is it still up?
Are still available.
No, what's
last
the price?
I checked.
Oh, we have to get an updated price on Deshaun. If he's still on the comeback player of the year, please help me. He seems to be.
Is he being scrubbed finally?
Yeah, I don't see him. 50-1 now. He's no longer 14-1.
I'm seeing comeback player of the year on WinBet at 22-1. So I don't know. We would not recommend making that bet. But
no, what? Why are we? What about MVP?
It's a good question.
Oh my goodness. Who's making that bet? Do you want me? All right. So while you're looking up his MVP,
75-1 for MVP.
Who's betting that? He's played 5 games. What are you? You're robbing people. Stop it. All right. This is how I'm playing it. Cleveland to be the 4th place team is you can fucking 4-1. Sean, that's like a 10-1 dog on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You're
10-point dog.
4-1.
Northwestern was plus 425. I gave that out as a money line dog, Ryan. I don't know if you from the college show. So, and they were like 12-point dogs, one outright. Yeah, I'm there. And
doesn't that feel like a strong play at this point?
Very strong. Because so many things can go wrong with this team. One, Jacoby Brissett is your starter for 11 games. Mm-hmm. 2, you have Deshaun Watson, but he's coming in. He's coming in after like so much time off. You have Amari Cooper, who is like, comes up small in any sort of big game situation. I mean, Jacoby Brissett's 14-23 as a starter. 1-1, 4-11, didn't start. 7-8, didn't start. 2-3. Like I just
look. If you're,
it could go really bad for Jacoby Brissett.
If you're a Browns
6.4 yards per attempt in his career. Those aren't starting quarterback numbers.
You're a Browns fan and you're 11 games of him. What are you hoping for?
4-7.
4-7's best case scenario.
Yeah, and then you expect Deshaun to win out or something.
Deshaun didn't look that sharp in the preseason.
He looked really bad. I mean, again, they only played him for that one game, but he looked super rusty. And I just don't see Deshaun Watson doesn't seem like a guy like Tom Brady who, while he's not with the team, he's still like doing everything he can.
No, he's trying to get his dick rubbed. We've learned this has been established. It's in the fucking court documents. This is a puzzling team because people seem so high on them, regardless of this situation, as if it's not going to impact them at all. So yeah, 4th place plus 400. I don't know if you mentioned your other future that you like for the Browns, but you for someone who was giving them wins back, maybe you should take those wins away.
Yeah. So I have them for least wins at 30-1, and then lowest scoring team at 20-1.
See, lowest scoring team is intriguing to me. It seems like a fun way. Although after walking through the schedule, fewest wins, it's possible. It's on the table. Could they lose? I mean, we have them as our survivor pick against the Jets week 2. Could they be 1-10? Maybe longish shot, but 3 wins, not off the table. I like the lowest scoring as well, though. I do
because I think that they could win some games where their defense is still decent, but I could just see this offense. I mean, if you're playing the Browns, you just load the box, put 7 guys in there and stop Nick Chubb and force Jacoby Brissett to beat man-on-man coverage, which I don't know if he can do consistently with a guy like Amari Cooper who's just kind of dog it. Harrison Bryant, like who else is creating plays for them?
I mean, again, I think maybe we're all just blind to Amari Cooper, but I would think that this team is going to struggle to move the ball, and I think the defenses, especially in their own division, are going to be able to give them some trouble. All right, so I do have a fun way to play this team. So we know that if they're successful this year with Brissett, it's going to be heavily on the running backs, right? Most rushing touchdowns. Ready for this? Nick Chubb, 10-1. One of the favorites, right? Why? Because the Browns situation, the offensive line, the style of play. Well, I can scroll down the board and I see Mr. Kareem Hunt, 65-1.
Most rushing yards?
Most rushing touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
He does score a bunch through the air as well. Now, I'm going to keep going down the board because this is a guy we like in fantasy, deep in the deepest of leagues. But if we have any sort of injury issues, Dearness Johnson, 200-1 to have the most rushing touchdowns. I had to go deep because obviously I'm not very high on this team, but both Hunt at 65-1 and Dearness Johnson at 200-1 are fun. If you want to look solely at the rushing yards, in this one, Chubb also 10-1, but Kareem Hunt is 150 to 1. If Chubb goes down, Kareem Hunt 150 to 1 to have the rushing title. Is that reasonable?
Well, also Kareem Hunt, it seems like they're not going to trade him, but let's say 5 games in, things aren't going well. They realize they're going to need a draft pick. Maybe they trade him to a place that might actually use him.
And then,
I mean, his rookie year, he had 1,327 rushing yards. Other than that, he's been kind of used as like a change of pace guy and receiving yards, but he certainly has a workhorse ability if needed.
Dearness Johnson's also 200 to 1 on the rushing yard. So, maybe they trade Hunt and then Chubb gets hurt. Yeah. And then bang. Look, I'm not bullish enough on this offense but that's a fun $2 bet. Or what does Bowser call that? A pizza bet?
Pizza. I mean, pizza around here is like $25 for a pie. I mean, let's be real.
Horse bet. That's what he calls it. All right. That's it, right?
What
did we talk about? Oh, we have the Steelers. Right? I'm sorry. 7.5. Again, this is Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin wins more games than he loses. That's just what he does. I went 9-8. You went 11-6. Probably each one of these teams deserves an extra win after the stealing of wins from the Browns. Again, it's just hard for me to fade this team.
You'll make them 12-6.
It's hard to fade them, especially because I think you're at least somewhat excited about what you saw from the rookie quarterback.
Oh yeah.
In the preseason.
Again, Najee Harris, the efficiency maybe not there, but he is just going to get a ton of carries, run super hard. Kenny Pickett.
Sean, pause. What big change did Najee Harris make this offseason?
Oh, he removed his visor so he can see motherfuckers in the face when he runs over them.
If you have not heard that,
I mean, immediately skyrocketing up my fantasy rankings. I think the Steelers are a live dog to win the division. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the AFC North at 9-1. Obviously, I'd like them to make the playoffs at 3-1 because I think they're going to be in a lot of games. Mike Tomlin is a very, very good coach. Again, no losing careers in Mike Tomlin's NFL career. He could have his first ever losing season and they still go over their win total.
All right.
What are we missing?
Just came up with something. Quick.
Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky looked better than Big Ben.
If we parlay, does the circuit take parlays on division futures? If we parlay Pittsburgh, Houston, and maybe one other,
I think just Pittsburgh and Houston,
and we put a big enough bet, we can get one of that. That's a news story.
Yeah,
a better place, the $500 future on the. Yeah, I know. I'm completely in agreement with you. I certainly like a sprinkle on the division, although I do think that's
they just feel like they could be in the mix, right? But
I like the winning.
Here's the thing. You remember the last time the Steelers drafted a quarterback, Ryan? Big Ben.
He's very good.
I'm going to talk to you.
He's a very good looking guy.
It's
funny to see how skinny he was back then.
Ben, you remember when you were coming in the league? You came into the league. You had a veteran coach there in Bill Cowher. You went 13-0 as a starter. The Steelers themselves went 15-1. You won a goddamn Super Bowl.
Different time.
Was the defense running the ball? Was that roster better than this team? Sure, yes. But by how much?
I mean, look,
I think there's a world where this team gets on a run.
Mike Tomlin's 100% a better coach than Bill Cowher. Maybe that's a hot take for the Steeler fans out there, but I like. Again, it does seem like, and maybe just hopping over, it does seem like George Pickens is an absolute stud. For him to have the most rookie receiving yards, Sean.
Oh, that's fun.
10-1, and I think that's more realistic than rookie of the year.
Because then you're not competing against the quarterbacks.
Exactly. I think it's going to take a little bit of gameplay, but again, we highlighted this in the team preview. This team has invested the least amount of money in their offense and the most amount of money in their defense. They are absolutely going to be in most games. I don't know if they're going to be able to win shootouts every week, but having two guys that can get open and a tight end that appears to be, if nothing else, a very strong red zone target, this offense should be better than people are giving it credit for. I think they have large physical men everywhere. And, George Pickens is a fun story. They still have Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson. Now, unless the quarterback play is just awful, it does seem like the floor here is pretty high too.
Just crunch the numbers. Steelers division winner parlayed with the Houston Texans division winner.
What's that pay?
340 to 1. So we put $1,000 on that. 340,000. Let's go. This is the sports gambling podcast. Texans, Steelers, division winner.
We do have
put $1,000 on it.
We have some corporate investment, short-term investment dollars that are still free. I think we could probably maybe move some budgets around.
Great investment.
The free roll football contest top prize is now $4,000.
Yes, sorry guys, we're skimming off the free roll contest. Steelers. This is one because I wanted to play the defense. I'm high on the defense. I like the.
What's the play?
Well, I'll get to it, Ryan. I want to play the defense from like the prop market. Brian Flores adding to that defensive scheme. He is a serious chip on his shoulder. I was listening to the Steelers preseason on the radio, and they had some good insights there. Steelers fewest points allowed in the AFC North, plus 350.
What?
Yeah, I mean, what defense is noticetably better?
Say that again out loud.
Steelers to allow the fewest points in the AFC North. That's plus 350.
Is that? I don't understand. So you're saying there's multiple teams with lower odds?
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
what are the odds? Do you have all the odds, or is this?
Hold on. I'll have to.
Not a big deal if you don't, but that's crazy. That's right. I'm gonna write that down for both of us. I'm stealing that one. You stole a lot from me. I'm stealing that. That's insane.
I got to find where I got that again.
That's insane. I love that bet.
Yeah, because I was just looking for any sort of way to play them as a good defense, and
that's amazing. This is the best bet you've ever found.
Thank you.
This is the greatest bet.
So they don't. This is in a places season area where it's just offered for this team.
Interesting.
But I mean, plus 350. Like how are these other teams noticeably better than that?
Well, certainly they'll like the Browns defense because I think they're going to be playing to low scoring games intentionally. But yeah, I mean, Baltimore, obviously we saw like the defensive scheme change that never is the best thing. Bengals, perhaps they're going to be a defense first team. It just doesn't seem that way. This is insane. I mean, I just said it. They invested the most money in the defense, period. And they have a Watt brother in his prime.
Yeah. And he did also get, I don't know if you saw that cut block. He went down. They apparently it's nothing. So he's good. Yeah.
Well, fortunately the elite pass rushers of the league are surviving these cowardly preseason.
I know the elite ones are doing. How's Thibodeau doing? Is he expected to?
He's gonna miss a week. It sounds like.
Oh, really? He's not gonna be there week 1.
No, MCL. They're playing it safe.
Man, all right. Poor Giants. Poor Giants.
Randy Moss, you got to talk to your boy.
Okay, and one actual player prop I have. Shout out to Cameron Kerr, producer in the Golf Gambling Podcast.
Filthy
does a bunch
Steelers
of stuff.
fans, huh?
Pat Freiermuth over 4.5 receiving touchdowns.
That's like the Pitts one.
Seems too easy.
Yeah.
Well, unlike this though, Pat Freiermuth showed that he caught touchdowns last year.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like them both. I guess it's not.
No, I don't mind Pitts, but Freiermuth is coming off a season with 7. He was like they had him. They still trotted out Ebron briefly early on in that season.
It's also Ben though. I think Ben maybe is,
but have you seen Pickett to Freiermuth? That connection's they got him running down the seam.
Yeah, no, I like it. Just being like I literally highlighted it as a reason their floor is so high. They just have grown men all over the offense. And then they have Mitchell.
Matty Ice 23 says, if I send a Steelers jersey, would Ryan wear it? 100%.
I'm about to wear what you don't know is later on today when we're doing the NFC North, I'll be wearing a Jordy Nelson jersey that was sent in by a fan.
Oh yeah.
And shout out to anyone this is how old we're getting, Sean. People probably don't even remember the Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson. That was the OG love affair. That was the beginning as the league turns. The Jordy Nelson. Do you remember how much they loved each other on and off the field?
They probably took some ayahuasca, hung out in that Indian tent, sweat lodge interactions.
There's definitely some skin on skin action.
All right. Yeah, that'll do it for the AFC North. We got the NFC North coming up later today in the afternoon. If you're streaming live on youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast, we'll be firing up maybe around 4:00 Pacific. So stay tuned for that. Catch up on all 32 NFL previews, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NFL previews. Get in our Discord for the free roll football contest, 5,000 up for grabs, $1,500 for the college contest, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Toss us a nice rating and review. We're giving away a $50 SGPN gift store or gift certificate every Monday. Just screenshot your review as you're sending in Apple Podcasts and submit it on the SGPN app. You're good to go.
Sean,
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
have we heard from Big Blue about the contest?
I'm sure we will.
Discord?
Shout out to Big Blue.
Well, it's in Discord.
Legend.
I'm a little worried.
No, he figures it all out.
Okay. Shout out Big Blue. Email us if you're having trouble with Discord.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
Sean, I a lot of overs in this division for me as an under guy.
Kramer, let it ride.